So as the front of house person for a touring band, you must have some fun stories about the TSA.
Huh. Yeah, we do an awful lot of fly dates, especially around the summer months with all these radio shows, and we spent a long time getting the weights correct on all of our cases and packing things in nice and tight so they don't get broken in transit. A lot of these are really fast stops. And every day you open the case up, you get the little piece of paper saying that your bag's being checked and it's safe. Of course it's safe. We're flying every day. We're doing this all the time. And sometimes, well, not sometimes, almost every time, you get to the show, open the case up, and the piece of paper's in there. You take the rack out, and everything's completely taken apart. I don't know why it's their job. They have to make sure everything's safe. But, to dismantle pedals and take everything apart like that. And then we've noticed on several occasions, I haven't worked out exactly which airport yet, I need to start taking note, they maliciously plug it all back in the wrong order. So they take it apart and sometimes they leave it together, but just change all the cables on us, which, when you're rushing into a show, isn't fun.
The craziest part for me is the rearrangement, because it goes in a very specific way, and then it shows up plugged back in. But pedal 2 will be in pedal 1. It's like crazy. Like there must be guitarists working at the TSA saying you should not put your compressor in this chain. You need to move that around. I don't know why you'd ever put a reverb before distortion pedal, whatever. I don't know. They have some kind of opinion about it.
When we fly, we're about 7 or 8 people. So between us, there's maybe 23, 24 pieces of gear, and they're almost all overweight, or at least, up to 70 pounds. So when we arrive at the check-in desk, it's like the check-in agent's worst nightmare, and they often don't know their own baggage policy, so we end up spending an hour telling them how their baggage policy works, because we do it all the time. We know what we're supposed to pay, we know how many bags we get free, and then we end up having to explain it to them.
We're actually collecting those TSA, the little slips they put in your bag. We've got, I don't know, however many hundred now. I don't even have a bonfire at the end of them. My stuff honestly hasn't been too badly messed with. On some of the playback rigs, if you look back there, there's obviously the spaghetti of just thousands of cables, and occasionally they've gone in and I don't know what they think they're doing, maybe like pull the red one out and it's going to save the world, but it just ends up being like patches pulled out or, patch cables between different things, and it's a nightmare because especially on fly gigs, you get in, you got maybe an hour set up, and you don't have time to be troubleshooting that kind of problem where, we've got, like I said, 4 Mac Minis, 500 cables back there, and you're trying to figure out why playback B or keyboard B is not working, and it's a nightmare.
We were in Canada one time, and I think we waited in their line for about an hour because their Wi-Fi went down, and that was the only way they could check people in, like check the IDs and the boarding passes. And we sat there for an hour with like every TSA agent in every line going, can we get the Wi-Fi password going, or can we get the Wi-Fi going? And then they finally got it, but then they didn't know the password, and it was kind of ridiculous. Like the country's safety was in their hand, and they couldn't log on to their Wi-Fi.
Fantastic. You ever had any instruments damaged or altered?
Oh yeah, I mean, like our pedal boards are every time we travel, we end up in the next city with our pedal boards unplugged. We Velcro a lot of stuff down there, and it's always pulled apart and just tossed around anywhere. Like, they have literally no respect for any of the instruments.
What's a good tip to share with our touring fans here that have to go on planes with a lot of gear?
I tell you, the best thing I ever did was buy one of those little hand scales, like $20 or something like that. And
that
you just clip it to your case and you lift it up and it tells you, 52 pounds. They will get you for half a pound overweight. Just if you're going to be half a pound overweight, just expect to pay it. But pack things in as tight as you can, be the right weight, and they're in the market of making money. They're going to hit you for it. So just be prepared.